Hi, lovely, awesome, wonderful people. I hope you guys have had an amazing and a great week. First of all, this week has been absolutely colder than the rest. I don't know if you guys have felt that, but for me, I've just been feeling like more cold. So that's why today, even on the podcast, I have my trench coat on, and I can see that I have a very awesome guest who also is well dressed for the warm weather. You know what I'm trying to say, with the current coronavirus and the cold season in Kenya, which is getting colder and July is ending, very makes sense. I hope you're keeping warm, you're drinking warm water, absolutely, with some lemons, and at the end of the day, you're wearing a mask, you're sanitizing, you're keeping distance. Remember, these things we have to do. Now, this is not the new normal, this is now part of our lifestyle. It's been a couple of months now, so I hope that you've been able to adjust. And speaking about COVID, there has been a video which was trending on Twitter for the past few days, and it was very controversial because it brought a lot of discussions about it, because the video was about men and COVID-19. So if you look at the statistics that have been shared in the whole world, and even in Kenya specifically, more men have been suffering from COVID-19. So today we just want to know what men out there think of what Caroline Mutako said when she shared her views, and even what you ladies think, because she also talked about women and ladies and the way they're suffering. And as for me, I'm also going to give my fair share of tip. If it's behavioral, if it's genetic, I hope you guys have done your research, but today we just want to know what you guys think about. So welcome to the Magneticah podcast. My name is Miss Phyll. Yay, let's do this, guys. Okay, so I'm going to introduce my guest, who by the way is good friend of mine, very talented. He has a YouTube channel. He's going to tell us about it so that you guys, you can go and watch his content. He's a very talented editor, broadcaster, and he's a hilarious actor. This guy, you cannot afford to be angry with him. These are people who just give you positive vibes in life, and those are the people that I want you guys to also try and hang out with in life, especially in this season of COVID with all the gloom and doom around. So without so much further ado, Larry, welcome.
Santi, thank you so much. Wow, that introduction was so big. I feel more important than I felt in the morning. Yeah, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here. Yes.
Karibu sana. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Why are men suffering?
No, let's just go straight to the point. Caroline Mutoko's video felt like an attack to men because she was so general too. Like I felt like she was so general when it came to, like, packaging her statements, her comments. Like when you talk about, for instance, one issue that really hit home for me was like every time she would like bring a specific issue as to why men are getting higher rates, she would always say men. Every statement, men, stop doing this, men. Add some adverbs, like, not adverbs or adjectives, whatever. English was not my forte, but say some men or most men. Like, stop saying men, because now it feels, when you say men, I automatically include myself in it.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, now you want to tell me all men don't bathe? Please, no. Personally, I felt like that was.
You bathe in the morning.
Yeah. I did.
We know you guys from Kitambo. We know you.
Okay, for the record, let's just say at least I'm assuming like majority of the men take a bath like at least once a day.
And people are working from home, so are they actually showering?
Okay, yeah. Well, there's that issue, because now when you stay at home the entire day, and maybe it's like, what has happened to my days? Yeah. But anyway, like I think for most men, working from home, like you haven't left like the office, you haven't left the house, so it's just like, why should I pay? But that's not a good mentality to keep in mind. Yeah. So I think that's my personal take.
Okay, maybe the problem is the fact that she
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, what I think is behavior which is common to most people. You know?
Yeah, common being to most men.
Yeah, to most people. Especially when now she addressed the issue of fruits. So I was like, okay, have I ever had a guy say, these fruits, by the way, these are total?
I have never. I have never. In all honesty, show me that person who will tell me, who will say in this day and era, fruits is our total. Like even when you go at home, like there are these fruit vendors.
Yeah.
Usually see like majority of the people. Personally, I see majority of the people who buy fruits are men. So I'm like,
but there's buying, but do they actually eat? Or they go and take to their wives and
I should assume. Then that brings another thing into context, right? She in her video she was saying, like, to me when I was thinking through her video, I'm like, I think I read this in an article I forget the article, but it says like majority of the men in Kenya are the sole breadwinners of family units. So it will make more sense if that factor in itself increases the chances of men actually contracting the virus, because maybe they are the ones who are living every day from home to work doing the things, when the wife or the sister or the mother is at home. So I think that's a factor to consider, Caroline, instead of just saying.
Well, that's honestly a factor.
Yeah.
When I also look at just like my circle, especially the guys who are married and have families, at this period of time, it's most men who are going out. Even most guys just go out to fend for their families, and that's one of the reasons.
Yes.
But if you look at general hygiene, you'll find that, let's put COVID aside, most guys, when they go to the washroom, they don't wash their hands. And that is something that I have observed. Like, I have observed even with my nephew, because he lives with us right now. So there are times when I'll be like, you've come out of the washroom, wash your hands. And with soap. Like, it's not one time after twice, it's like thrice. And if you also look at like the older guys, you will see the same pattern. When they go to the washroom, most of them rarely wash their hands. So COVID is here exposing those things mmekuwa mkifanya chini ya maji.
Okay, sawa. That is the only hapo tutaitikia kidogo. That is the only context I agree with you, and also Caroline when she says men ni vichwa ngumu sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but at the same time, majority of us are also realizing that, especially with the rising cases, majority of us are realizing that this thing is real. So at least to
by the way, we are appreciating the efforts that you guys are making. But also the fact that there is a group which is letting all the guys.
Yes.
And maybe I don't know if you guys want to do your own campaign to be able to fix this situation, especially when it comes to hygiene, so that it's not only during this corona time when now guys they are going to wash their hands and sanitize and all this, but it becomes like a behavior that will change and be consistent. Because what we have seen with COVID at the end of the day is that surfaces need to be clean, your body needs to be clean, your partner needs to be clean. Like everywhere, cleanliness is the first, because that's the way you also eliminate germs. Like even if you look at these other diseases, germs, bacteria, and all those kind of things, they thrive in surfaces which are not clean.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I think we need to preach the gospel to our brothers, to our husbands, to our boyfriends, to our nephews,
but
to every man to just up the hygiene game.
Yes, and do it and as you're preaching this, do it in the most don't
sensitive of ways.
Yes, do not condemn us. Don't be like, you are not bathing. Find a better way to tell the indisciplined ones.
I think it would be easier to guide somebody who's young, because first of all you need to, for example, if it's a kid, you just need to explain to them the importance. So I think men need to see the importance of washing your hands and everything.
Yeah.
So they need to understand that the importance of ukipanda hii mat ushuke uende upande mat ingine, the importance of just sanitizing. Yeah, the importance of just eliminating, trying as much as possible to eliminate.
Yes. Yeah, true.
So guys, apart from just wearing your mask, we know like right now, almost everybody, like just a few percentage of people are not wearing their mask. Because I've been to town and I'm just like observing people wearing their mask. But also just remember, you need to wash your hands, you need to sanitize, your body needs to be clean. Because at the end of the day, even if you try as much as possible not to touch your face, not to touch yourself, you will find yourself, one or another, you're touching your mask. So you cough, whatever you do. So these things need to go hand in hand. And behavior needs to change from the word go. And this even goes to those ladies who also need to act their game. I know it's men who've been brought to the light because of the statistics, but also we also have ladies who really need to act their game when it comes to hygiene and everything.
And I think we should start like our own, campaign of the sort, like also addressing ladies who do not wear masks, especially in public. I'm not mentioning names, but sana ukienda soko, this lady do some things. Just saying.
We've seen no one is in. It doesn't choose your class, it doesn't choose your height, it doesn't choose your age, it just attacks you wherever you are. And the first thing you need to do is prevent yourself. So I think for me, for men, it's more of a behavioral factor. So me, as in, guys, we value you. Maybe we're preventing the voices of so many girls suffering out here in silence. Twende kwa shower, tunawe mikono. And at the end of the day, let's ensure that we train. If you're a dad, train your son when he's young. The importance, especially when you just come out of the washroom, the importance of just washing your hands. Don't get tired even when COVID is over, because we believe that we'll overcome this season. These things, there are some things that COVID has brought that need to be consistent to all humanity, like to just everybody. We have seen vehicles being fumigated. When was the last time you saw a circle fumigating?
I mean, there was a time, I think it was yesterday, I went to town and then I see this pickup with blowing smoke at first I thought it was something burning. It's just fumigating the entire city. You can imagine how that how that scenario looked like. Yes.
Larry, as we conclude, what do you want to tell your fellow men?
Well, men, you have been told enough by Caroline. I will not even repeat it. But what I will say is to the ladies. When you see your man in the house, if you want to sensitize your man, if your man is indisciplined and you want to find a better way to tell him, to find a kinder way to tell him, don't follow Caroline Mutuko's video. Do it in a most, do it like as if you care. In that video she was like, you could see that she cared, but and then she's complicated. Here's my other point. She was complicating things because vichwa ngumu wengi wao wanakuanga, like, no offense to men out there, but wanakuanga people maybe who are in remote areas, people who are not really educated. So if you're trying to reach out to these people, majority of these people, don't complicate things, saying sijui effervescent tablets, saying sijui chromosomes. We will not relate to your video. Tell us, you need to wash your hands, period. But in a kind of way, tell us, hey, brother, like, ukienda huko nje, now corona is real. Jeff Kuinange, that's a positive. I mean, Papa Shantufla sadly died, but find a better way to send the message. It's not healthy, especially for relational people who can relate. Like me, I'm living with you and then you start attacking me at yogi. I will not even bathe for like a week now, just to prove my point that I'm not even listening to you. So find that common ground. Tafuta lugha nzuri ya kupitisha these messages. That's all I can say, man. You had it. I want to put it. Women, we continue.
They support.
Rephrase.
I think I agree. Depending on the kind of relationship you have with the man in your life, just try as much as possible to get the message out there for them. And I would say this goes across all boards. If you see your friend is slacking in upping their game to fight and to battle COVID, take the initiative to be an ambassador. And being an ambassador, you don't have to go on YouTube to shout, you don't have to go on whatever platform, just the guys who are at home. Because remember, whatever can be sees the person next to you. So the person that you stay in the same house, if you see they're slacking in their fight towards COVID, if they're not wearing a mask when they go to the market, just keep reminding them with the most creative and the kindest of language that you can do. Just whatever situation you're in, find a way to apply that, because at the end of the day, we want to get out of this together. Yeah, I'm going to end my podcast on that note. Today it was hot and fire. Make sure that you also send your comments about what you think, if men are suffering more because of their genetic preconditions, or is it a behavioral factor? And most of us, we believe it's a behavioral factor. So let's make sure we are ambassadors of fighting COVID. Thank you. See you next time. Same time, same place. Bye.